Good evening, everyone. I'm calling to order the hearings for this evening. It is Wednesday, October 27th. We're here in the Commission chambers here in Deltona at 5:30 p.m. First thing we do on every meeting on our agenda is call roll, so I'm going to introduce myself first, and we'll go around the room to introduce the code enforcement officers. My name is William Reichman. I'm an attorney. I've been doing this for several years here for the city of Deltona, and I've been practicing law for, as much as it's scary to say, almost 40 years. So, and I'll be acting as a special magistrate tonight. So with that, go ahead and do the rest of the roll call.
Danny Ron, Special Magistrate Clerk.
Richard Lovett, Assistant Director, Code Compliance.
Mark Gibson, Supervisor, Code Compliance.
Myron Samuel, Code Compliance Officer.
Marion Marisky, Code Compliance Officer.
Dennis Hughes, Code Compliance Officer.
Brian Bull, Code Compliance Officer.
Ron Paradise, Community Services, City of Deltona.
Very good, folks. Next, we're going to, if everyone would rise, stand, we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have a statement that's been prepared, and I'm going to read it and paraphrase it, called the Special Magistrate Statement. The hearings that we're going to have tonight of the Deltona Code Enforcement Special Magistrate, that's me, these are organized and established pursuant to Florida law, specifically one of the statutes in the Florida statutes, Chapter 162, and that's been codified in Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Deltona. These hearings are in the nature of quasi-judicial, and what that means is that it's we take evidence, we have fundamental due process. You obviously have received, if you're here this evening, you know that you've received notice of the violation, notice of the hearing. We will, I'll be hearing from the city. I'll be hearing from the folks that are here for their cases, and be receiving any evidence from the city or from you folks that you want me to consider in making the decisions tonight. I will take what's called judicial notice, which means that I have the right under Florida law and the Florida Evidence Code to take into consideration the City of Deltona ordinances, which are obviously what we're here for tonight, is for compliance with code enforcement. So these are the codes, state statutes, Florida Building Code, and the International Property Maintenance Code. If you have any documents that you want me to consider, those are going to be submitted for my review, and they become part of the public records. They become property of the city, and they become part of your official case file. And what that means is that as they become public records, they are subject to public review, and they cannot be returned to you. So if you want me to consider something, unfortunately, they will be kept by the city clerk. So you probably would want to have copies if you want to keep copies. So generally speaking, what we're going to do this evening, I've got a lot of cases tonight, but when you came in, you signed in, which means we're going to hear the cases first for the people that are here. And the way that this works is that first I hear from the city, because they have the burden to show what they allege, that there's been a code violation out there. That's their burden. And when they're done, and they'll come and present right there, folks. And then when they're done, then I want to hear from the folks whose case it is. And when that happens, we'll let you know. And if you could come up and speak right there. I want everyone to know that my decisions this evening are based completely on what I hear tonight. I have not spoken with anybody at all about the cases that I hear tonight. That's called an ex parte communications, and it would be inappropriate. Because these are quasi-judicial hearings, my job is only to rely upon the evidence that I hear when everybody's hearing it too. if I'm going to hear from the respondent, I don't want to do that unless the city hears it, and I don't want to hear from the city unless the property owner has the opportunity to hear it as well. So I just disclosing that I have not received any. I have already approved the agenda and the minutes. We've got several matters that are continued or withdrawn. Those are on the agenda, I believe, that are available for everyone out there at the table. So if you have a case that has not been withdrawn or continued, we will get to you first. Next, lastly, before we get started, I'm going to ask everyone who will be testifying today to please stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. If you're going to be testifying today, I need you to stand and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony that you provide tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right. So we're about to get started. When it's your time to come forward, I'll call your name, or I'll just call your case, and then if you come on up, like I said, and when you get to the podium, please give for the record so that we know who you are. Go ahead and state your name and your address, and then we'll get started with what you want me to hear. Okay, so the first case is what looks like one property, but 1, 2, 3, 4 different cases, and I believe this is Officer San Miguel. How do you want to do it? You want to do them all at once? You want to do them separately? It's totally up to you. If they're not resolved, we ought to do them separately.
We'll do them separately, sir.
Very good. First case is DEL 21138. The address of this property that the case is on is 161 Hummingbird Street with property owner Janet Acevedo, and I apologize if I mispronounced that name. And this has to do with the code section 18.5 and the International Property Maintenance Code 3047, and it looks like we're dealing with roof and flashing. City ready to proceed on this case, DEL 21138.
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second.
Please proceed. You bet.
Good evening. My name is Myron San Miguel. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as an enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 21-138, City of Deltona versus Janet Acevedo. Property address is 161 Hummingbird Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 8036-0508-0070. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states that the roof and flashing shall be sound tight and have no defects that admit rain. The corrective action for this said violation is to repair or replace the roof, gutters, or drainage. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case was initially opened on September 24th after receiving a call from tenants in Unit A for excessive water leaks and damages in the unit and throughout the building. After investigating the claims, it was found that the building indeed had evidence of roof damage and leaks from water damage throughout all of the units except for Unit B. The damage was found and photos were submitted. Photos were also submitted to me from the tenant of the roof, and with the property owner's knowledge of him going onto the roof, she is aware. There was a plan and several meetings taken between myself and the property manager, Janet Acevedo. We're working on getting these things fixed. The reason why this is coming to special magistrate today is because there's 4 units involved I believe that the extent of the damage that I show here with the photos as evidence will prove that it's substantial enough to be taken extremely seriously to get done as soon as possible. I found what appears to be mold in multiple apartments. This is in one of the closets in Unit C. Water damage leaks from the roof. This is a concrete block cement structure. So with the water leaking through from what appears to be the roof, there's multiple layers of paint peeling off. Again, all of these photos that I'm presenting tonight, just right now, have been taken today at 1400. This is downstairs in one of the storage units. It looks like this in multiple units. This is going to be underneath on the very, very bottom of the unit itself, next to where the cars would park. This is in one of the bathrooms. The water damage was so bad that the tiles began to fall through, and the resident had to tape up the hole. It's a little hard to see, but if you look here in the center of this photo, there's water spots from where it leaks up from underneath the floor. So I have another case that I'll be presenting here shortly that also includes plumbing, because some of the water damage, it's extremely hard to tell if it's just from the roof or if there's other extensive damages. At this time, I'd like to play a quick video that I took while I was there today. This is going to be of Unit D. On the very bottom of the floor underneath the carport area where you would park a vehicle, on the far right wall, you can see the water dripping. And as you look on the side, you can see the extent of the water just streaming down the wall. There you can see it just pouring straight down from what should not be happening. Here in this photo, you can see the water spots on the ground of puddles that just continue to come through. And the water damage is coming from the roof, through the walls, all the way down to the base floor. City has nothing further to present.
What is the city's request as far as an order?
The city's request after having a meeting with Janet is 30 days to get a permit, and then 90 days from the date that that permit is pulled to come into compliance to fix the roof and the water damages. Part of the code of the water damages is to replace and fix the issues. The extent of the water damages also need to get fixed, as well as the roof.
Let me make sure I understand what you're requesting. Be 30 days from today to get the permit,
Yes, sir.
is what you're requesting. Is that an additional 90 days thereafter, or a total of 90 days to fix the property?
30 days to get the permit acquired. Once she gets acquired of the permit, 90 days from the date that the permit is issued. So if it takes her 15 days to get the permit, it'll be 90 days from then. If it takes her 29 days to get the permit, I understand after several meetings with Janet that she has been working on this for a very long time. She's in litigation right now. She just filed suit this past week. Her insurance company gave her a letter stating that it wasn't damages from her claim. She claimed that it was damages started from 2017 from Hurricane Irma. The insurance company, from a letter that she provided me, stated that when they went out there and investigated and looked at it, that it wasn't, and that it was under, the extent of damages was under $10,000, which was her liabilities deductible, and therefore she would be responsible for it. I understand that she's sent...
This is hearsay. Why don't you go ahead? Let's hear from Mrs. Acevedo and or whoever she wants me to hear from. Is that it from the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, Janet, if you would come forward and give me your name and your address, please, and tell me what you want me to hear. You heard what the city said.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Janet Acevedo. I live in 161 Hummingbird. Yes, Your Honor, I'm having issues with the roof at this point, but it's been going on since 2017. I sent 2 people over there up to fix it. They fixed it, but then it got even worse. So then apartment A, which he was a contractor, he was going up there and trying to patch everything. But it came into a point that it's not fixing. I've been fighting with the insurance, and now it's through the lawyers. So this is where I'm at this point. So hopefully now that I got pressure from the city, they can come up and do something about it. It's not that I haven't taken no legal action at this point, but I mean, I have to have more, like, the insurance has been fighting with me when I know there was an issue from the beginning.
Right.
So at this point, it's like, okay, what am I going to do? So, but I think everything is coming down to place now that I'm having the city involved. So hopefully that will work.
So what I'm hearing tonight, folks, is that everyone agrees, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that we've got a problem with a
Yes,
code
I do.
violation.
I understand that.
And the city is asking, and it sounds like you're okay with this, as to this case, what the city's asking you is put in writing, put in order, that 30 days from now will be the last day that you can get a permit to get this work done on this roof.
The only thing, Your Honor, excuse me, is that I need a little bit more time because, I mean, right now mitigation is like, it's out of my hands. It's whatever
Well,
they.
let me finish.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Because there was two parts to this. I think it's important for everyone to understand. There's two parts to this. What the city is saying is that, and what they're asking, we'll see what I'm going to do, but they're saying, what they're suggesting is that my order would say that you have 30 days from today just to get the permit, not to finish the work, to get the permit. Because you have to get a permit under the law before you start doing the work.
Correct.
So you have 30 days to do that. So whenever you get the permit from that day forward, that could be tomorrow, or it could be 30 days from today. From that day, you've got 90 days, that's what the city's asking, to get the work done to stop this code violation. So my question to you is, what is your position on those two different deadlines, so that I can weigh your position,
Right.
and then I'm going to make my ruling?
I need a little bit more time because it's out of my hand at this point with insurance. Because now the lawyers and the insurance company is trying to agree with that at this point. So I don't want to get myself into a spot, say, yeah, 30 days, and then I pull permit, and I'm still working with the insurance company at this point. That's my concern right there at this point. I mean, I need a little bit more time than that.
So what are you asking for?
I don't know, maybe a good 90 days maybe to get the permit. And then from there, because if I got already the insurance, then it will be moving very quickly. But I don't have a magic ball to predict, well, they're going to say yes.
Well, I don't think
tomorrow.
any of us do.
So-
Well, let me tell you, I hear what you're saying, and actually I do hear this a lot in these types of cases where there is this dispute. In order to do the work, you need the money.
Correct.
And that's why you're suing the insurance company. And that's real. The thing that in this case gives me some concern, because this is a commercial piece of property, and you've got people working in there. You have tenants, and these are occupied. So you got human beings that are working in these buildings, and it looks like that the roof has been leaking long enough that it's not just a matter of the water being there, but I mean, that looks like there's mold there.
And that looks more like apartment A. I mean, I haven't gone into apartment A so much because they just avoid me to go in.
But
So,
here's
because
my
I go a
concern.
lot to C and D. That's the most that I go into.
But my concern is that obviously I want to work with you,
Right.
but I also have to take into consideration what's best for everybody.
Correct.
And you got some tenants in there. And the longer this drags on, the more that they're going to be, they're doing their business, right? They're going to be there, and they're susceptible to that. And so that's concern to me, because I don't want people to get sick if now I'm involved.
I understand.
And of course, I would respectfully suggest you don't want them to get sick either, because if they do, you'll be dealing with a different lawyer. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't want that. You don't want that. Well, let's do this. I'm going to give you 30 days that the city asked to get the permit, because getting the permit is just the start. I mean, that's not a big deal. That's just a matter of going in, filling in an application, getting some information, that sort of thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 120 days
After?
after that. give you a little more time.
Okay.
Because that makes more sense to me. I mean, you can get the permit, and I want that to get going, because the way I heard you say is that the sooner you get the permit,
It's,
the sooner you're going to be able to bring
Correct.
pressure to bear
Yeah, and I want to finish. I want to
on the
get a-
insurance company. So to me, the shorter period of time is to get the permit.
okay,
And then once you have that, then you waive that at the insurance company, and hopefully they'll do the right thing.
Okay.
So, but then we'll give you 120 days. Now, because this has some health issues, what my order is going to say, and this is how it works, if you don't comply with these time deadlines, then a fine will start running. And I'm going to make that at $100 per day.
Mr. Rushman,
Yes?
just for clarity with the city, is it going to be 120 days from the date that she acquires the permit?
Yes.
Or 120 days from tonight?
120 days from the date she gets the permit.
Understood, thank you.
so, okay. so
And Ms. Acevedo, I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying here. There's two different ways you could start getting fined.
Okay,
One, if you don't get the permit within 30 days.
okay,
Two, you don't finish the work and comply with the code within 120 days from the time you get the permit. So those are, and then that's per day. And the other thing I would remind you, and this, I'm not trying to be threatening or anything, but this is a commercial piece of
I
property.
understand.
Which means, why I'm raising that is because if the fine, if you don't get it done and there's a fine imposed, it'll become a lien. Just like you have a mortgage on the
Right.
property. And the city can foreclose on that. And I'm not doing that to try to scare you. I'm just trying to make sure you understand that there's consequences if you can't. That's why I'm trying to work with you, because there's real deal for you if you don't comply.
I got a quick question. Let's say I get the permit and everything running. It's already 100 days and still they're fighting, the insurance and all that.
You
What
need
will
to
happen?
contact that gentleman right there.
Okay,
And I can't make any promises because it might come back to me in the future if there's a fine that's to be imposed.
okay,
But I'm asking you because, right now, we're having this conversation, and I'm more willing to give you time now than the next time I see you, and you're asking for a relief from a fine. That's when I get less generous, if you will. Okay, so my suggestion is that the minute you get that permit, you immediately do everything you can do. Because construction always takes longer than you think.
oh, yeah.
It always does. Okay, so that's the first case. I'm going to enter that order, and that's DEL 21-138. Now, just for understanding, we've got three more cases.
Yes, sir.
Are the city's requests for an order basically the same on those, or are they different?
The city's request for the order is the same for DEL 21-140 for leaking plumbing issues, because the amount of damage, given the damage, it's hard to tell if it's also from plumbing, considering the one room had
So
it
you
coming
would
from
be,
the
the
floor.
city would be satisfied with the order I just gave for DEL 21-140,
Yes, sir, that is correct.
but you want to have a separate hearing on the other two?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, let's see if we can get this. There's 4 cases that I have for you, Mrs. Acevedo. We just handled the first one.
Okay,
The city is saying that of the remaining 3, they're fine with having the same exact order as to one of the other pending cases, and that's the one dealing with the plumbing. So do you accept that as an order for that as well? It'd be the same as what we just talked about for that. And then we have 2 more that we're going to have to talk about.
okay, my thing is for the plumbing, it's the roof, because I already checked the plumbing, so it's, plumbing-wise, it's the roof that I'm having issues at this point.
Well, then
And there will be it's the whole thing.
Okay.
The whole
Well,
piece of property.
if you can fix the roof and...
And it will be, the issue is done.
So are you okay with this other case then having the same order?
All four-
30 days to get the permit, to get the plumbing fixed, and then 120 days from that point to fix the plumbing?
Yes, the only thing is that the way the building, it's not divided in like A, B, and C. It's all one piece. I don't know if I cannot sell A, I cannot sell B. Either I sell the whole thing or I don't. That's how the property is when they sold it to me. So it's all one property.
Right.
So at this point, the same thing issue for the roof is the same issue for all of them.
Okay, all right. So what I'm hearing is that both parties are, as to DEL 21-140, are satisfied with the same order, and that would be, yes, sir?
Yes, Mr. Reichman, I would say some of these other cases, the other cases that he has for this property, they're going to cause for some of these to have to be problems to be fixed before they can fix those. So I would say the city will be good with that order for all the other cases too.
Okay. All right. All right.
Mr. Reichman, if I may interject just for clarification.
I'm happy to do all the cases separately, folks. I'm just, if we're all in agreement here, we've done this before, then we can just have one order that sometimes that's easier from a standpoint of the respondent complying, because it's just one set of dates. I'm just throwing out some practical things, and it's easier for the city as far as enforcement. So, yes, sir.
Just for clarification on building permits, this, based on the commercial nature of this project, of this property, going to need, those permits will need to be pulled by a licensed contractor.
I understand.
Okay, good. That's
understand that.
important.
Yes, I
That's
understand
important. All right, thank you for bringing that up, because, see, I don't want to enter an order which creates an unreasonable deadline. So that's why I'm asking you. You're here today, you're trying to comply, and I appreciate that. I'm taking that into consideration. Now, what the city has just told me, that it's to all your cases this evening, they're satisfied with having the exact same type of order entered. 30 days to get the permit, and then another 120 days to bring it in compliance. Are you satisfied with that?
I mean, I have to at this point.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to announce at this time as to all 4 cases that involve your property, Mrs. Acevedo, and I'm going to say it's DEL 21-138, that's the one we just ruled on. DEL 21-139, which deals with exterior surfaces. DEL 21-40, which is the plumbing. And DEL 21-141, which deals with mechanical issues. All those orders are there's going to be 4 separate orders you're going to get, but they're all going to say the same thing.
A question on the mechanical issues. I already sent somebody, and they already did all. They checked the units, and they're working. Only apartment A, because there's an eviction, so that's separate. They're going to do it on the 15th, but I did all
Okay.
that work order.
Okay.
So,
Well, that one you should have no trouble
yeah,
complying with.
I sent it to Mr. Samia.
Okay. So should be said again so everyone understands. We've had 4 cases, all the same property, different code violations. But as property owner, Ms. Acevedo, you and the city have agreed that what is the right way to get this resolved, all 4 of these issues will be resolved with an order is entered that 30 days to get the permit, and then from that date, no more than 120 days to fix the property, all those things. So I'll be preparing and sending you 4 different orders that say just what I just said.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right, any questions? Okay, thanks for being here tonight.
Sure.
I really appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank
Good luck
you.
with that insurance
The only
company.
thing my concern is that the mechanical has been taken care of.
Well, let me finish.
That's the air condition. I'll call it.
Yeah, let me finish by saying this. When you have done these things, getting the permit and then you fix the things, would you let this guy right here know?
Yeah.
Just let him know. That way, because we don't want to fine you.
No, I know.
We
but
just want- we want you to comply,
It's
that's
been
all.
taken care. There's nothing wrong only with, I think it's apartment B, they need the capacitor.
Well, when you
Everything else is good.
think something is done, give him a call,
I will.
and he'll come out and he'll inspect it, and then he'll put in the file
Okay.
that you're in compliance with some, if not all, of these things.
Okay.
The worst thing you can do is fix it
And not let
and then not tell him.
Correct.
Okay? All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Next, we have 2 cases, DEL 21094, let me get there, and 096. And these are Massey cases, and these involve the same property, 900 Deltona Boulevard. Again, 2 cases, DEL 21094, DEL 21096. These are Massey cases. One has to do with a driveway and disrepair, and the other is a public nuisance. And the property owner for both of these cases is All American Oil LLC. Is the city ready to proceed? Are we lucky enough to have an agreement on this one, or? Okay, fair enough. Do you want to do each one separately?
We're going to have to do them separately, I think.
Understood. All right.
Okay.
That means we're going to start with DEL 21094, 900 Deltona Boulevard, property owner All American Oil. This one has to do, this is a Massey, so this one has to do with the driveway and disrepair. City ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm a code compliance officer for the city. Case number DEL 21094, 900 Deltona Boulevard. I was out there today. They are in compliance for the driveway, okay? But they were past the allotted time, so they have a fine as it stands right now, $1,500.
Well, tell me how you get to $1,500.
Well, it was 30 days at $50 a day. So that was from the 29th of July to September 27th.
So the city is requesting that I enter a Massey order finding that the property remained in violation past the prior deadline of my prior order, starting July 29th, running through September 27th at $50 per day, consistent with my prior order, for a total fine of $1,500.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we move forward, is there someone here today for this case, 900 Deltona Boulevard, All American Oil LLC? Yep. If you'd come forward, sir, right to that little podium right there, and I need your address and your name, please, and tell me what you want me to hear on this case.
My name is Shirai Patel. I represent All American Oil at 900 Deltona Boulevard, Deltona. We were aware that we were in violation for their driveway covers, but as you all know, in the gasoline industry right now, we are facing a major shortage of materials, and the driveway covers are metal covers, and it took us a while to find these covers, and finally we found them and got the property in compliance. So $1,500 fine, at this point, like with major shortage of goods, we don't want to agree with it, but we would like city's help on this. The $1,500 fine, it's not reasonable when we cannot find materials.
Property's in compliance at this time?
Yes, we will reduce that down to $250.
All right. I'm going to find that that's fair, $250.
Got to accept it.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Everybody's hurting these days, but the violation just didn't start.
No, absolutely.
On July 29th.
Agreed. Yes,
it
agreed.
started long before there.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
So I think the $250 is probably a real fair deal.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay,
That
so
was
that's going to be
case 094, is that correct?
Yeah, that's 094. So that one I'm going to find that the property is in compliance, but didn't make the deadline. It was a total of 30 days at $50 a day. The pursuant stipulation, the fine will be reduced from $1,500 to $250, sir. So now I'm going to go back to the next case that I know you're here on this evening, sir, and that's DEL 21096. We're going to do it just the same. I'm going to hear from the city first, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll see where we go on that.
Sure.
Okay? Go ahead,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, case number DEL 21096. Again, they are still in violation. And then from July 29th of this year to September 27th of this year, it's $50 a day for 30 days, which would be $1,500. On this one here, being that they're not in compliance, I think we'd be willing to give them 30 days to get the to redo their permit.
Okay, I'm confused. You said that they were in violation for 30 days.
Yes.
From July 29th to September 27th.
Yes.
But they're still not in compliance.
Not in compliance at this time, and it's $1,500.
But how could they be not in compliance today if the fine stopped running on September 27th? The only way the fine could stop running on September 27th is that they brought the property into compliance on September 27th.
Well, I'm sorry, my part, I'm sorry.
You see my logic?
Yes, yes. So from the 27th of September till today, it's $1,500. Okay.
that makes more sense.
Yes.
Okay.
That would go for the last.
So they were in violation from September 27th and still in violation?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me layman's terms, what's going out there that's a violation?
Well, they haven't done anything with the building. Their existing permit that they had expired in June, I think June 1st of this year. An agreement was made that if they came in and got a new permit, not renewed, a new permit, that we would work with them on the fine. But as it stands right now, it is $1,500, and we would give them a month, stop the fine at this point, give them 30 days to get another permit drawn up, applied for, and then give them until the end of, to the next meeting in January to come into compliance.
Sir, what do you have to say on that? What the city is suggesting?
Absolutely, and we know that we are in violation over there, but my concern over there is, sir, that the company we hired to do the work went out of business. It's been going on and off. We finally fired them because we were not getting anywhere. We went with our engineer, and I have an engineer's letter as well explaining what the situation was. Whatever the engineer put in the plans for the building, the company did not follow it, and they basically did some work which was not approved by the city. The city officials, the building officials, when they went out to inspect the property, they found major violations. So we determined that it was not a good idea to continue working with the same company. So I personally met with the engineer and the contractor at the property.
A new contractor?
That is correct, sir. And we met with them. And we determined that the engineer is going to take 30 days from October 18th. That's when he got me. I had a personal meeting at the property, and he said he needed 30 days from that day to determine everything, and then after that, the contractor will start pulling permits. After the engineer determines what was followed and what was not followed, he's going to correct he's going to make sure the plans are correct, and then...
So how much time do you think you need before you can get this property in compliance?
I think,
From today?
From today, just to pull permits...
No, to bring the property into compliance.
All right, here's another thing. So
Just tell me.
I would say 180 days.
180 days, half a year.
Yes. The reason is if I order AC, if I order coolers, this store had major fire damage. So if I order all this equipment right now, and we build stores elsewhere too, and we are facing 8 months delay on getting just electrical panels right now.
Okay, what does the city have to say? I thought I heard you guys say about 30 days. He's asking for 180, so...
And one other thing I'm going to say is the building inside is damaged, but the outside, we keep it clean and no graffiti or anything it's going on outside. The outside is clean.
The building's empty.
The building is empty.
There's no one inside.
No one inside, sir.
How does the building look outside, folks?
Run down. Just plain, I mean, where there's graffiti, they covered it up with a totally different color paint. The paint's fading or chipping. There's some mold on the building. There's some debris laying around still.
I'm looking for something that's reasonable. I mean, here's the factors I'm taking into consideration. Yes. You're here.
Yes.
You're trying to help.
Absolutely.
This has been going on a while.
That is correct.
I'm telling you all the factors that I'm mulling around here. Okay? There is a problem with getting materials. It's empty, but it doesn't look good in the neighborhood.
That is correct.
And it hasn't looked good in the neighborhood for a while.
Yes.
And what my job is just to find what is a reasonable amount of time. Now remember now, we're not here for the first time. This is coming back to me as what's called a Massey hearing.
That is correct.
So I already made a determination earlier, and I don't think you were here, sir, for that one. If you were, I apologize, but I think that case is either someone else or there wasn't anyone here. But I made a determination at that it was a certain amount of time was reasonable for the property to come in compliance. So we're already past that. Now it's whether or not, I mean, what I could do is I could have the fine run from September 27th and just have it run without any abatement. I could do that, but you're here.
Yes.
So I'm not going to do that.
True.
So I'm trying to figure out how much more time is fair and reasonable for you guys to do what arguably you should have done a long time ago.
That is correct.
Because if I live next door to this building, if you live next door to this building, you wouldn't be happy.
Absolutely.
Okay, you understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So I think 6 months is asking a lot. I really do, sir.
So let me ask you this question. If we do start the work, if we show the city that we are working, will that satisfy? Because, there can be delays.
I'm going to need a deadline. A deadline where this work is done. And I'm going to throw this out there. Probably what's most important for code compliance from a practical standpoint is getting the outside completely fixed up. And my guess is that would be quicker than getting all the inside stuff done, because that's normally how it works.
That would help. I have a question, though. About how long do you think it would take for your engineer to get the permit?
So I met him October 18th. We are 10 days past that now. And he said he needs, by mid-November, he will have everything ready for the GC. The GC is going to start on the permitting process. He already started working on certain stuff because on the electrical and everything, he's looking over everything and getting the subs to give us bids on the project. So we can fix the outside. Outside is not a problem. We can fix it. But the inside is going to take a while.
So how long do you think it would take to get the permit and to fix the outside? Let's put those two together.
To fix the outside.
To get the permit for everything.
Okay.
For everything, and then to fix the outside. How much time?
Reasonably, sir, I would like to ask for 120 days.
I'm not going to give you 120 days. What's the city willing to do?
Mr. Reichman, Richard Lovett. I would be good with going to the January hearing. And if he doesn't have the permit pulled and the outside of the building at least cleaned up and looking back as an operational business, that we make the fines retroactive to the September 27th date.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm not done yet, but right now, I'm going to find, and this is part of the order, I'm going to find that through today, the fine is $1,500, through today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to abate any further running of the fine until the January hearing. We got a date on that? I want to put a date in the order.
25th, 26th.
Can you get me a date for the January hearing?
January 26th?
Yes. So on January 26th, that's the last day. You might want to write this down.
Sure.
It's the last day to get a permit for everything.
Okay.
And to complete all exterior repairs and code violations. Now that's 90 days. November, December, January. So that's 90 days that I just gave you where I'm abating the fine. Now, if, this is what the city is requesting, and I think this is fair, if we come back and you haven't complied with that part of it, then the fine will be imposed from the 27th of September through the January. So that's a big hit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a request for you.
Hang on a second. I'm just writing this down because this is not my standard one. This is complicated. See, here's where I'm headed. You have to understand, I'm not interested in getting the money from you. I'm just creating a tool to make sure that there is a sufficient incentive
Absolutely.
for this work to get done.
No, absolutely.
So we have one thing left that we got to do. There's going to be another deadline for getting the rest of the violations, the interior violations. What's the city's position on that? The exterior on the permit was January 20, what was the date again?
January 26th.
26. All right, so what does the city suggest for the rest of the violations?
Do the additional 90?
January 26 is...
I would have no problem understanding that there's a shortage as long as the outside and the exterior is done and maintained, to giving him an extra 3 months to finish that.
So it'd be 120 plus 90. So let's just say it's the 180 you asked for.
Okay.
Okay.
That's on top of it.
It's going to be the same thing. If you miss that deadline, then the fines will be retroactive. And that would be a lot. That's all the way back to September 27th. So you're almost at a year of violations.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this order that we're doing tonight, it's good, but it might be real bad.
Understand.
And you're in control. You're in control of that.
Absolutely.
So
Understand.
I just want to make sure you understand what we've
No,
done.
I do.
So it's going to be $1,500, and if you know, you always have
So
the...
I was wondering, that $1,500, if we do everything right,
You come back to these folks and you talk to them about that.
and can you please work with us on that?
They don't have to. They might need to bring it back to me because I'm entering an order today imposing a
Okay.
fine. So they'd have to come back and they could if you wanted it reduced from $1,500 to say $250 like the other one, they can recommend that or not, depending upon how it's worked since tonight.
So that would be talked about in January meeting?
It could be, sure. So we got three things going on. One, for the purposes of where we are tonight, you know, there's non-compliance. So through the 27th, or starting from September 27th to tonight, it's $1,500, and I'm gonna just leave that. You can come back on that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to abate the fine from today for the permit and the interior until January 26.
Okay.
If you blow that deadline, then the fine will be imposed retroactively from January 26th back to today, October 26th, right?
October 27th.
27th, sorry. A lot of dates. So that's number two. Number three is I'm giving you 180 days from tonight where the fine is going to be abated.
Absolutely.
And that's for the rest of the violations on the inside. And if you blow that deadline, then there'll be a fine on that.
Okay.
Okay, so it could be a lot of money, or it could be
Very
maximum 1,500, and who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so the key is not getting your money. The key is compliance.
Okay, sure thing.
All right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for being here.
Nope, absolutely. Thanks
Okay.
for your help.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Thanks, guys.
Okay, is this the same one?
That's the new one.
Okay. Okay, do we have anyone else here? Is that it? Sure, that's it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the next items on the agenda, and the next one is DEL 21. We've got two Massey's left. Hey, I got a favor. Anyone get like a water bottle or something? I'm sorry to be high maintenance, but
I got some in my refrigerator.
I'm sorry, folks, but making me talk tonight. All right, 21099, Officer Laracy.
Yes, sir.
Property address 929 Lovington Drive, Hector Almadina, public nuisance, tarp on roof. What's going on?
Okay, this is in reference to DEL 21-099. The address is 929 Lovington Drive. Owner is Hector J. Almedina. My name is Marian Laracy. I'm with City of Deltona Code Compliance Officer. It was entered into evidence, exhibits proving proper service, and a copy of the magistrate order along with photographs. This case was heard, and the order was signed on the 28th of July, 2021, giving 90 days to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day until the property comes into compliance. Based on the testimony, evidence is submitted to this case. I'm requesting the magistrate to impose the following fine from the date from today, October 27th.
All right, let me stop you, just so I understand. The property did not come in compliance by the
Correct.
deadline set forth in my prior order.
Correct.
Is the property in compliance today?
No, sir.
Okay, so it still is a non-compliance.
Correct.
And you're asking what?
The fine to begin starting tomorrow at $25 per.
But not running backwards then?
No, we don't need to.
Okay, all right.
90 days was ended today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Are they working with you a little?
No, the last time I got any kind of, I haven't had any correspondence up until October 3rd. He requested an extension. I advised him to come here tonight and speak with you. I also advised him to maybe show good faith and obtain a permit, and as of this afternoon, no permit has been obtained.
So the fine is going to run beginning October 28th. What was the per diem?
$25.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Can't sit down yet.
I know.
Oh, thanks. And I got tons of water now. Okay, great. All right. We've got our last Massey, which is DL 21132. And this is 725 Lola Avenue, property owner Paul David McGee. We've got a swimming pool problem.
In reference to case number DEL 21-132, address is 725 Lola Avenue. Owner is Paul David McGee. My name is Marian Laracy with the Code of Compliance Officer. All evidence and exhibits and proper service was completed. This case was heard and ordered. The order was signed September 22nd, 2021, given 7 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day. The property was in violation September 30th, 2021 to today, October 27th, a total of 27 days at $100 per day, which is $2,700. And the property is still in violation.
It's 142.
Okay, I'll do what I can do, which is find an order that the property remains in violation and has remained in violation for a total of 27 days since the deadline set forth in my prior order, $100 per day for a total fine through today of $2,700, which fine shall continue to run in the amount of $100 per day. We got a pool, and it's not in good condition.
Yes, sir.
Is it secured? Is it unsecured?
It's secured. It's in a screened-in
Okay.
area.
You understand where I'm headed with this? I mean,
Yes.
as far as whether you guys need to go out there and, okay.
No, there's a chain link fence, and it's also a screened-in
Okay.
area that's secure.
Is the property vacant, occupied?
Yes.
Vacant? Okay. Do you know whether it's homesteaded? Because once I enter this order.
It is actually homesteaded.
Okay.
The
We
owner-
can't foreclose on it then. Okay. Okay. I mean, these are the tools we have to try to enforce compliance, that's all, so.
Yes.
So,
From what I understand, the homeowner passed away.
beg your pardon?
From what I heard, the homeowner passed away.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so that's the order I'll enter. Okay, thank you very much, officer.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let me move on. Got a lot of continued cases. Pages. Okay, the next case that is not continued is DEL 21-158, at least that's how I've got it on my agenda. Property address 941 Shorecrest, Joseph and Juan Esquivel, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and that has to do with accumulations of waste and yard trash. And this is Officer San Miguel.
Yes, sir, just bear with me 1 second, please.
This is not a Massey, just this new case.
Correct.
Go ahead.
My name is Myron San Miguel. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is going to be case number DEL 21-158, the City of Deltona versus Joseph and Juan Esquivel. The property address is 941 Shorecrest Ave, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 8130-1142-0030. This is going to be a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110, subsection 2, which states that the accumulations of waste, yard trash, rubble, and/or debris are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. The corrective action for this said violation is to dispose of all of the debris and properly or store inside an enclosed building. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case initially was found when I went out for a separate code violation case. Bear with me 1 second, sir. It was established and violations were seen to remain on the property from a previous case regarding lot maintenance debris from December of 2020 with Officer 809. It was ruled on April 28, 2021 that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. He did not comply, and 30 days within those 30 days, he didn't comply and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since May 28, 2021. As of today, the property has an accrued total fine of $3,800 over 152 days.
So why are we here on a new case then?
We are here on a new case because this evidence is brought about from the backyard. The initial case was brought up from the front yard, and the case was established that that was found in violation, and it continued. I was brought and walked into the backyard from the property owner to establish evidence in a case investigation that I went out for because there was a request put in that he was found to be stealing water again for a second time.
Okay, but we're not here on stealing water. We're here on...
Correct.
You're asking for me to consider entering an order on a separate violation of the same code on the same property. So let me throw this out there for discussion. You're distinguishing this one because you're saying it's the backyard versus the front yard.
No, sir. I state all of that.
Why is this a new case as opposed to just the old case getting worse?
This is a new case because the city is going to be abating it, and we want to bring it before you to continue the fine.
You don't need to bring it in front of me to continue the fine.
Correct.
Mr. Reichman, it wasn't just we've already ruled on this one, and there is a fine running.
Yeah, you've got already a Massey order, right?
Yes, sir. We wanted to bring it back for you, so we had it on record that we were going to move forward with doing an abatement, so we had that on record to be in the nuisance that we're going to be moving forward with an abatement from here.
That's a totally different matter than what you're asking me to do.
Yeah, we're not asking for a fine. We're just asking for it to be found in noncompliance and ruling that we're going to be going into with an abatement.
You are asking me to do something a little bit different. If all you're trying to do is just have it on the record that this is a nuisance, I mean, that's a separate code process. For nuisance abatement, you don't need the special magistrate to determine that that that's done by staff. Staff makes that determination under nuisance abatement, whether or not it's a nuisance and it needs to be abated. Right?
Yes, sir.
So why do you need me to make a finding that this is a public nuisance and you want to initiate under your code process nuisance abatement?
We're trying to run every process through, so every process when we're going to do these abatements on these, we want to give them every chance to come into compliance by bringing it before you, before we go out there and do an abatement.
Okay, and I hear that, but the process that you're going to have under nuisance abatement in your code is you're going to send a notice of violation for that. It's going to be an NOR, what I call, a notice of remedy. And that's the notice that if that property owner doesn't comply, then the next thing is that you're going to go out and you're going to remove all the stuff and then you're going to charge them for it. That has nothing to do with me at all, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Tonight, you're asking me to start up a whole new code case that you're saying there's a different violation on this property because, like we established, there is an existing violation of a specific code, which is this accumulation. And I've already ruled that it's in violation, and the record's clear that fine is continuing at this time. So why are you asking me, because that's all you're asking me to do tonight, is to set him up for an additional fine for the same violation on the same property. That's why I'm concerned.
No,
because what my concern is, it's a slippery slope. The distinction here is that we had a backyard versus a front yard. What if you just had more stuff in the front yard? You're going to come back to me asking for a different violation?
No, that was never the intent. The front yard and the backyard, it's the same violation.
Right.
Our thing was we wanted to read on record that we're going to be working through the abatement process at this time.
Well, that's fine.
Moving forward with that, that's what we're going for.
And that's fine, but I'm uncomfortable entering another order, finding this property owner in violation for a different violation of the same code on the same property.
Correct. It is the same violation, same property. It doesn't matter whether it's front yard, side yard, backyard.
And we've already
It's the
got him
same
on
exact.
that. We've already hooked him on that. He's got hooked on that.
Correct.
25 a day, it's running.
All we're saying is that the property is still in violation at this time, and that the city wants to move forward with an abatement
Well,
process.
my suggestion is, I would request you withdraw this. And my suggestion is you consider, get with your city attorney, see if the property's homesteaded. If it's not homesteaded, move forward with a foreclosure, because it's been more than 90 days.
Unfortunately, the property is homesteaded, sir. So respectfully, then I will withdraw this case.
Okay. You all understand where I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I understand where you.
Okay, next case is DEL 21-159-3390, Commerce Avenue, property owner Andre Person. This is roof and flashing, and this is Officer Muse. You know, I mean, for that last case, you all got everything you need to go out there and remove all that stuff. That's just a flat-out nuisance abatement type of process.
Yes, Your Honor. What we're trying to do is when we're doing these larger abatements like that, giving them every chance to come before the special magistrate before we actually do it. That's what we're trying to do.
Let me make this suggestion, and I'm not your attorney, but what you might want to do is just come back for a second Massey order.
Okay.
I mean, if you're just trying to catch their attention, that's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
Just do a notice of hearing for an updated Massey.
Understood.
Because I just, and I'm sorry to belabor this, but I'm just uncomfortable with creating a separate case for a separate violation. It's not really a separate violation.
No.
It's just a continuation, and we're finding the guy. You know, it's almost like every time you put another hose out there, we start another case. I mean, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that.
No, we understand that. We will do it as an update from here on out
Okay.
if we have that kind.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Officer Muse. DEL 21-159.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer, and our credentials will follow the city. Case number DEO 21159, City of Deltona versus Andre L. Person. Location address is 3390 Commerce Avenue, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID numbers 813034290080. City of, violation of the City of Deltona's ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states that the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have defects that admit rain. Roof drainage shall be adequate to prevent dampness or deterioration in the walls or interior portion of the structure. Corrective actions, repair or replace the roof. The statutory requirements to the notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date, posted at the property, address listed with the property appraiser's office. The notice of hearing was also posted at the City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board hearing clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. The facts of the case are, while at this address for a lot maintenance violation, also found the front porch roof to be bowed in the center. The boards in the center are starting to split as well as underneath the portions of the ceiling are starting to separate. So at this point, the city is asking for a $50 a day fine.
Still in violation?
Still in violation.
Well, this is not a Massey, so, I mean, are you saying, how much time do you want to give them to bring it into compliance?
There is nobody in that house. I've gotten no response from the owner. The house is not homesteaded. So at this point, I don't see any
Okay, I'm going to give them 48 hours to comply.
48
Hours.
48 hours.
Or a fine in the amount of $200 per day, because it looks like that could be dangerous. So again, in violation, empty, vacant, 48 hours to comply, or a fine in the amount of $200 per day.
Good, thank you.
Okay, next case is DEL 21161, 1480 Pear Avenue, property owner Johannes Hernandez. This is Officer Laracy. We got parking.
My name is Marian Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is in reference to case number DL12161, City of Deltona versus Johannes Rosa Hernandez. Property address is 1480 Pear Avenue, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID is 813-040-030-090. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-19(3), which states that boats, trailers, recreational vehicles shall not be parked or stored within a public right-of-way or within the portion of the lot lying across the full width of the lot between the front line and the frontmost part of the principal structure. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records and were posted on the property 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence of this case, including photographs, have been marked, exhibits, and submitted to the Code Board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case began September as a proactive case. I witnessed a boat in the driveway for more than 2 days out of the 7-day period. I believe I have multiple days of photos here. The property is still in noncompliance as of today. I give 2 days to comply or a $250 day fine.
Why are you asking me to put $250? I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but why are you asking me to do $250?
He's a repeat. He was brought here previously for having multiple vehicles in his rear yard, and now he's moved them all to the front. He was found in noncompliance.
This is not you're not bringing this up as a repeat.
No, but he was here previously.
He should know better. Is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, 2 days to comply, I'm fine with that. I'm going to say that's going to be $200 per day. 2 days to comply.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Next case is DL 21-162. Property address 1101 East Normandy Boulevard, property in the Bank of New York, and Officer Muse. This has to do with, looks like they're not taking care of their yard.
That's one part of it. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, my name's Officer Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-162, City of Deltona versus the Bank of New York Mellon, 1101 East Normandy Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 05640330. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 38-110, subsection 1, which states that the weeds where the greater portion of the yard, greater portion of weeds on the lot exceed 12 inches in height are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Corrective action: mow the yard and maintain the lawn so that the grass and weeds do not exceed 12 inches in height. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date and posted at the property address listed with the property appraiser's office. In addition, the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was based on the history of the same violation that basically started a year ago. At the beginning of this case, a 24-hour notice was posted to abate the grass, but a supposed new tenant by the name of Ricardo Rodriguez was out already mowing the yard, but then was given a few more days to come into compliance. I'm sorry, these pictures aren't the right ones, but if you look through the fence, you'll see the backyard. He did not continue with the backyard as what he stated, and therefore we brought the case before you to get some kind of conclusion. The state is seeking a fine of $50 a day to start.
Property remains in noncompliance?
He's still in noncompliance.
What's the request as far as compliance?
Well, that's, and part of this is going to be hearsay, which I really don't want to say, but I don't think he's supposed to be in there. This property is not homesteaded. I don't think he's supposed to be in there, and I think he's in there under false pretense.
Well, I really don't care about him.
Okay.
I can't care about the Bank of New York Mellon. They're the owner of the property. Have you had any communications with the Bank of New York Mellon?
The only ones I had with the property appraiser, property management company.
There's a property maintenance company? There's a property management company?
Yes, and they've been in litigation with the owner of the property. It's a lot of litigation, back and forth, back and forth. So nobody's supposed to be.
So it's in non-compliance.
Yes.
How many days to bring it into compliance?
7 days.
Fine. Amount of fine?
$50 a day after.
Okay, I'm going to order that the property remains in non-compliance as the date of this hearing, and will give the property owner 7 days to comply or impose a fine of $50 per day thereafter. Looks like we've got a very similar case, DEL 21163, property address, same property owner, different violation. This has to do with, my guess is probably the fences.
Yes. Okay, again, my name's Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer, and credentials are on file with the city. Case number DEL 21163, City of Deltona versus the Bank of New York Mellon. Location address is 1101 East Normandy Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID number 813005640330. Violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which adopted the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states that all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective actions, repair or replace the damaged fence. Statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date and posted at the property address listed with the tax collector's office. In addition, the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case started on June 23rd, 21. The notice of violation was sent out the very next day per the request of the Guardian Asset Management to send an email and a copy of the notice of violation, which I did. The certified mail receipt of the notice came back signed. But at that time, by that time, a new tenant, Mr. Rodriguez, stated that he would make the repairs or take it down. As of this date, the fence has not been repaired or removed, so it's therefore in violation.
It's the city's requesting with regard to compliance and the fine.
7 days or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered. For what it's worth, folks, that one might be a good one for an NOR too, especially with regard to the yard. Because that's not homesteaded.
No, sir.
Okay, next case is DEL 21164, property address 3290 Noah Street, property owner Diane Shaw, Officer Laracy. We got parking.
Mr.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, sir. My name is Marian Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 21-164, City of Deltona versus Diane Shaw. Property address of 3290 Noah Street, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID is 813-038-221-070. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-19-3, which states that boats, trailers, recreational vehicles should not be parked or stored within public right-of-way or within the portion of the lot lying across the full width of the lot between the front line and the frontmost part of the principal structure. All statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records and were posted on the property 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true, accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case began in September as a proactive case. I witnessed a boat and box trailer in the driveway.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What kind of case?
Improper parking?
Private party?
Improper parking?
Improper parking. I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Keep going.
Sorry. It began in September as proactive. I witnessed a boat and box trailer in the driveway for more than the 2 days out of a 7-day period. On October 19th, the property was in compliance, but after the compliance date of October 14th. So I'm bringing it to you. It is still in compliance. I'm bringing it to you to be found in compliance, but would like to set it up as a repeat violation for next time.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Next case, DEL 21-165, property address 1746. What is that, Mitten Terrace, I think?
Yes, sir.
Echo Home Company, LLC. Got permit issued. Officer Muse.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. Case number DEL 21-165, City of Deltona versus the Echo Home Company, LLC. Location address is 1746 Mitten Terrace. Parcel ID number is 8130-3614-0050. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner or authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permits for this for the property located at 1746 Mitten Terrace. Corrective action: the original permit expired on 5/10/2021. They would be required to obtain a new permit, but as of this date, the company, the Echo Home Company LLC, is no longer around. Back earlier this year,
They're still the owner.
They're still the owners.
When you say they're no longer around, meaning...
Can't find them anywhere. I've got all my...
So they're still in code, but they still need to get a permit.
Yes.
Because they're doing work out there.
If another person bought the property as is, the property is about 90% complete. It's a brand-new house, okay?
But there's work out there without a permit.
But, the original contractor backed out of the project once he found out that they were going to be fired. And that letter is on file in the case.
So they're not in compliance now.
They're 90% complete.
No, but they need a permit. That's the non-compliance.
Yes, they need a permit.
Okay, so they're not in compliance?
Right.
With that code?
With that, yes.
And what is the city's request as far as time for compliance and/or a fine?
Being it's 90% complete, they would have to go new building 30 days or $250 a day.
So ordered. Next case is DEL 21-166, 2751 Summerfield Street, property owner Joshua Duncan. Officer Muse, again, this one is storage.
1 second. Okay, again, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-166, City of Deltona versus Joshua Duncan. Location address is 2751 Summerfield Street, Deltona 32738. Parcel ID number is 8130-4324-0060. Violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38114, which states that storage of building materials, commercial, industrial equipment, materials, objects, or waste related to commercial or industrial use, or any equipment, materials, or objects that are not incidental to the residential use shall be prohibited. Corrective actions, items must be stored properly or removed from the property. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date and posted at the property address list with the property appraiser's office. The notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board hearing clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. Stopped at this property based on what I observed and also on my complaints. This case started on August 29th of this year. I left a courtesy notice and my contact number. No contact was made with the person, and I just happened to be in the area, and I called him home on October 4th. Spoke to the owner, Mr. Duncan. He said he would get everything cleaned up within a few days. As of today, it's all the same. It's pretty much the same.
Just for the record, this case was not initiated by any anonymous complaints, but by your own.
I saw it before I even heard about the complaints.
Okay. So it's still in violation.
Yes.
Time for compliance or fine?
7 days or $50 a day.
So ordered. Last, not least, DL 21167, property address 866 Fruitland Drive, property owner Juana Nartique, parking. Shouldn't this be Officer Laracy?
Sorry.
You don't look like Officer Laracy.
No, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello, my name is Josue Garcia Segarra. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case DEL 21-167, the City of Deltona versus Juana Nartic. The property address is 866 Fruitland Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-003100070. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance 66-19 subsection 3, which states boats, trailers, recreational vehicles shall not be parked or stored either within the public right-of-way or within that portion of the lot line across the full width of the lot between the front lot line and the most part of the principal structure. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent and certified, mailed to the property owner at the address listed at the property appraiser's records, and were posted on the property 10 days before the hearing. All the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code clerk board. I certify that all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on that day, then the day were taken. This case was entered on Tuesday, September 7, 2021. The City of Deltona Code Compliance Front Desk for an RV improperly parked. On Wednesday, September 8, 2021, I arrived at the location and witnessed the violation. The RV trailer was parked halfway on the front lawn and in the driveway and improperly parked at the residence. I documented the violation with photograph and left the door hanger as a courtesy at the residence. On Thursday, September 16, 2021, I returned to the property for reinspection. The RV trailer remained on the same location of the property. I took an updated photo and posted the notice of violation on the garage. On Thursday, September 30th, 2021, I checked the property to see if it has come into compliance, which it did not. I added an updated photo of the violation of the RV remaining on the same location on the property. Lastly, on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, the property still is in violation. I added an updated photo of the violation, posted the notice of hearing on the garage of the property. As I was posting the property, the grandson, allegedly, of the homeowner came out to the address and met me in regards to the improperly parked RV. He stated that the sheriff's office was there earlier that morning evicting a tenant. As of today, the property is in compliance, and we wish no fines would be imposed, but the property be found in noncompliance at the time of the posting on September 30th, 2021, to be set up as a repeat offender.
Thank you, sir. So ordered. And with that, let's go home.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good work. Appreciate all your cooperation. Let's do this.
We'll get better next time.
Oh, no, this is fine. Get me the couple things.